It compelled everyone, small and great alike, rich and poor, slave and citizen, to be branded on the right hand or on the forehead, and made it illegal for anyone to buy or sell anything unless he had been branded with the name of the beast or with the number of its name.
My boy, we're pilgrims in an unholy land.
In my last video, I gave a big shout out to two friends of mine, Floyd and Linda, who have offered to help and been a great friend to me over the years. In this, I want to give a shout out to Lawborn, who has also been a friend of mine for many years here and a good friend of this channel. I urge you to check out his channel and to check out his video series Cheyenne, dealing with artificial intelligence. Just a warning, guys, don't join the network. And now, onto my video. I was listening to an interview of Harlan Ellison, where he said that science fiction isn't about science or technology. It's about how it affects the human being. And I think this is very true. It's telling the human story in a future setting and seeing how that future has affected humanity. I want to go down a similar route. How does the future affect human morality, and how can you maintain a Catholic ethos and morality within that setting? It was a very interesting interview. Now, I've been listening to listening to a lot of audiobooks, getting a lot of ideas, going over old movies, television shows, watching videos. Great inspiration. And the aforementioned Lawborn, he has a great video series where he's looking at an AI or nefarious AIs. I am looking at shows like Babylon 5, reading books, Altered Carbon. Looked at the SG-1, the story of so many great stories there. And you can get pulled in a million different directions. So I'm kind of of the opinion, especially as I'm starting off, to begin small, writing short stories and novellas, and working up to a full novel. And these short stories may end up being set all within the one universe, or may branch out into their own thing. So I had thought of doing a story along the lines of artificial intelligence and looking at Isaac Asimov's story, The Last Question. And that's a story I want to develop a lot more before I work on it. I have some ideas to play around with, but it's not something I feel confident going down just yet. So where am I going to begin? I am going to, well, the first setting I think should just be a human setting. Throwing in aliens will add in a lot of other elements that, quite frankly, I don't have the tools to deal with at the moment. I'm only learning this. And there's enough stories in the human condition to fill the universe with novels. You don't need to look outside. And there's enough alien within humanity. So, the setting. What will it be? So let's set up the universe. We'll title it, give it a catchy name. Universe A001-A001. It's gotta be catchy, guys. So, the setting is maybe 200 to 300 years in the future. It is 10 years after the discovery of what I'm calling a 4D jump drive, which will allow you to get anywhere in the universe relative to you seconds, in actuality days to any outside observer. Still, considering the size of the universe, pretty much instant. There's only a few exploration ships have gone out, and humanity is contained generally, apart from the explorers, within the solar system. They've discovered no life apart from human civilization, and humans have developed a way of detecting life regardless of distance. And these exploration ships have given proof of concept. So life exists in this universe only where humans have spread to. Now, I don't know, is that going to be the case in the real universe, but in this setting, that is the case. There's absolutely no life outside of what humans create or what humans have accidentally spread to other parts of the universe. Okay, that is so no aliens. And maybe no AI in this initial universe. Don't want to go down that line just yet. I am, like I may have mentioned earlier, I am working on a story based on Asimov's Last Question, and a bit more research before I get into it. Now, the political setting of this universe split into two main nations, the Papal States and the Solar Federation. There are also corporate entities and small independent groups and mini-nations, micronations. But the main protagonist will be the Papal States, antagonists the Solar Federation, and many corporate entities, some more antagonistic than others. There is a Cold War between the Papal States and the other factions, and many of these other factions have very low regard for ethics when it comes to scientific advance, and very low regard for ethics when it comes to social engineering. And that will throw in some moral questions for the Papal States. It means that while the Papal States' population grows quicker, with less resources, they may have a lower quality of life, but a more ethical approach to family and society. On the other side, the Federation views the growing population with distrust, because with finite resources means that society could collapse. Now, with the invention of the jump drive, that makes things less of an issue, but the animosity is already there, and conflict is pretty much unavoidable. The first setting will be an infiltration by what I'm calling Papal Knights into the Federation, on the search for bioweapons or weapons of mass destruction that the Federation were working on, or maybe a supposed scientific advance, a genetic manipulation, that a bioengineered virus that can augment humanity, and the idea is to allow it to grow bigger brains, shall we say, or have lower birth rates, bigger brains, and the Knights infiltrate to see what they can do to stop this. Why am I looking at this for the first? Well, let's listen to a quote from a film you may have heard of.
Moria, you fear to go into those mines. The dwarves delved too greedily and too deep. They awoke in the darkness of Khazad-dûm. Shadow and flame.
What I want to do is show the Vatican discovering, or the Papal States discovering, that science has dug too deep and they've created chimeras or created a disease, created technological horrors that could spell the end for not just the human race, not just the Papal States, but the human race as a whole, or will fundamentally change them out of recognition. And being Catholic, trying to tell the Christian story, some of these events may begin the tribulations, or the 7 years tribulations leading into Antichrist. Not sure quite yet whether I'll go that way with this story, or will that still be in the future of the setting? Not sure. But I think there's enough for at least a couple of stories within this universe. And being a literary universe, anything can happen. And if you're yourself writing, you've got to create a world that makes logical sense in and of itself. It doesn't have to make sense in the real world. Physics can work any way you want in your own setting. And that's why I mentioned the jump drive. I don't think it'll ever be possible to jump clean across the universe. But who knows? In this setting you can. And I suppose, just as an aside, earlier in the channel I had begun working on a series called Asking Creation. And I think I'm going to fold that series into this, Building the World, where I will ask those questions. And I'll try and answer them in the literary setting. So, guys, let me know what you think. And if you want to play around with the history of this setting, quite happy for you to do that. And then meanwhile I will be working on fleshing out the political structure of these entities. Again, I can use that to delve into things I wanted to do in this channel. I'm seeing this as a way forward for this channel, using the fictional and literary settings to tell the real world stories. I want to thank you for listening. This has gone on a little longer than I expected, but if you're listening to this point, you stuck with it, and good for you. These videos will improve, and you can remind me in later videos how bad I was at the beginning. So please, if you like this, you'd really be helping me out. Give this video a thumbs up, or you know what, thumbs down. Either or, it helps. Leave a comment below if you want to play out some scenarios yourself, write them down, or even leave a link if you want to do your own video on this subject. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you get updates when I upload new videos. Thank you for listening, and see you all soon. God bless.